Thank y'all for joining me this Monday morning. I hope you guys have a great day. We just came through Thanksgiving and now Christmas is right around the corner. So Merry Christmas to you, and I hope y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Now today we're going to be talking about personal accountability. And the title of this video is, if you want to elevate, take accountability. I was getting a haircut the other day, and a friend of mine was, the gentleman who's cut my hair, he's a friend of mine. And he was recounting one of his stories, something he was sharing with someone that he had learned at the age of 18. And I said, this is going to be a good subject. I have several other topics I wanted to cover, but when he said it, I was like, this is actually a good subject to cover for my next FTRIA video. And so here we go. We talk about, and this is going to be a short video because I believe you guys are smart and intelligent enough to completely understand. Now, some of y'all might not like what's going to be said because it's not a fun per se. It's not a fun topic, but it's a needed topic. It's a good topic, and it's a life-changing topic if applied. So in taking accountability, if you want to elevate, take accountability. So what was he sharing with me? He was telling me that he had learned these are my words here. He learned the power or the value of showing up to work on time and doing so consistently. And so when he was 18 years old, he's some years past, well past that now, but some years ago, he was working a newspaper route, mail route, excuse me, and had nice personality. People liked him, had a nice smile about him, had good energy about him, a good vibe about him. But he was perpetually late. And so his bosses kept giving him time after time, opportunity after opportunity to fix that problem. They gave him chance after chance after chance to fix that problem. Now, let me add this for some people out there, is that he's black. Okay? I say that because generally speaking, in our very sensitive world today, everything, when things happen to black folks, it's always racism. Real or imagined, they always say it's black racism is involved. But not in this case. I can assure you of that, based on what he was telling me. They kept giving him opportunity after opportunity. So one day, the gentleman who works in their HR department calls him into his office. And they do some small talk. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? I'm just calling him Sean. His name ain't Sean, but I'm going to just call him Sean. Hey, what's going on, Sean? How you doing? How you feeling? How's your day? Oh, it was good. Blah, 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 blah. It was good, everything. And then he asked the same question back. Then the gentleman kind of gets down to business with a smile on his face. He says, listen, Sean, we have given you opportunity to show up to work on time, but I'm going to help teach you a lesson. I'm going to help you. This is going to help you. This is really going to help you, what I'm about to do. It's going to help you in your career. So he's like, okay, what is that? What is that? He says, you're fired. And so the gentleman, Sean, who was smiling and enjoying himself at the moment, all of a sudden, of course, lost that smile and began to wonder, what's going on? What just happened here? And the gentleman proceeds to tell him, we have given you chance after chance to fix this problem, and you wouldn't. And I thought long and hard about this because I was thinking about giving you another chance, yet another opportunity. But then I got to thinking that he hadn't learned those first number of times we've been giving him a chance. So I think this is going to be the best option to help him. Now, the company could use Sean's services, but Sean did not value the company like the company wanted to be valued. Probably not the way he thought he was valuing the company. And so they figured, they was going to go ahead and cut their losses in this case and get somebody in who might not, and this me, I'm ad-libbing a little bit. They will probably hire somebody else whose personality probably is not as good and personable as Sean's is, but they might be more faithful. They might be more responsible in showing up to work on time. They might take responsibility for their actions, for showing up and fulfilling their part of the commitment. So they decided, hey, Sean, we're going to have to let you go. Now, at the time, as Sean was relating this to me, he said at the time it didn't seem like it. He didn't understand nor comprehend at the time what this HR manager had just told him about this is going to help him, if you will, in the long run. So then Sean proceeds. Some time later, he goes to the military and spends a significant amount of time there. And he recounted to me that experience that he had at that mail delivery business helped him for years while he served in the military. And he has shared that story with his son. He shared that story with another young man to help redirect a young man's career who actually was facing the same situation. So not too long ago, well, a few years ago, he helped someone he helped someone to save their career. Because the young man he helped told him, thank you, because nobody else has talked to me like you did. Nobody else shared the story. Nobody else tried to help me like you just had. So that young man that Sean ended up talking to years and years later, some 20, 30 years later, his experience and him taking personal accountability, his painful past became someone's potentially pleasant future by helping this person value the moment, value themselves, take accountability, and value that job. And so he helped alter somebody else's career path simply because he applied the principle from a painful past. And so why is it important that you or I take responsibility? You cannot control the things you cannot control. But not control the things you cannot control, but there are things you can. You can control your mindset. You can control the thoughts that stay in your mind. You can't control every single thought that come into your mind, but you can control what stays and what leaves. You can control your behavior. You can control your mouth when you want to. And so if you want to have this successful future, if you want to be successful in your job or in your relationships, successful in your endeavors, personal accountability is a must. That's how people in any industry succeed, is they take with personal accountability. So let's go over a few things. Accountability. Everybody wants to grow until growth requires accountability. Accountability is the mirror most people avoid, but it's the mirror that sets you free. I forget the story. I think it was a wicked witch who had, maybe it's in the Snow White show, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs story. But there was a wicked witch, I believe it was. And again, I hadn't read the story or even heard the story in years, so I might be messing up a little bit. But there's, let's just say it was a wicked witch who asked this question to her mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And the mirror would tell her, well, be honest, right? Now, if I'm wrong, y'all go ahead and tell me in the chat, in the comments, and I'll take note of that. But she would ask the mirror, who's the fairest of them all? And then she would receive a disfavorable answer, a truthful answer, right? Some of us wants life or wants other people to lie to us and shield us from the truth. Are you asking the mirror on your wall, who's the fairest of them all, and expecting the truth? Or would you prefer a lie? I don't know about you. Yes, the truth hurts at times, but I'd rather hear the truth. It does hurt. Believe you me. I know. It hurts being told, Darius, you're lacking in that area. You need to improve in that area. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't. But I do want the truth. You understand what I'm saying? It's not about how it makes you feel so much. Don't let your feelings be the determining factor whether or not you accept the truth. Yes, there's a right way to hear it. Yes, that's the right way to tell it. That's the right way to share it. There's a right timing for it. But let's be open to receiving truth. And I am harping on that for a reason. Don't ask the mirror or somebody else their opinion and basically expecting them, if not asking them directly, to lie to you, because that's not beneficial to you or to anyone else. Get some help. Yes, it hurts at times. Yes, it's a stroke against it's a hit against your ego. It's a hit against your pride. But you ain't got it all figured out yet, right? So get some help. Accountability isn't about blame. Accountability is not about punishment. What is it about? Accountability is about ownership. I'm talking about personal ownership. I'm not talking about let go and let God. There's God part, there's their part, and there's your part or my part. We have to take ownership of certain situations, circumstances, and conditions if we want to change them. We have to be willing to do our parts. We have to be willing to do our parts. So, taking ownership means this. You have the ability to say, if I'm connected to the outcome, then I'm responsible for the input. So if you don't do your part, then you are failing yourself and others. So why cut yourself short? You know, my FTRIA system, my coaching program, is called the FTRIA system. Follow the right instructions always. You can't follow the right instructions always without owning where you didn't. There are times in your life, even probably right now, you're hearing the right instructions, what you're supposed to do, what somebody expects of you on your job, again, in your relationships, from your parents or your guardians, some authority figure in your life. You're not waking up to that alarm clock that you set so that you can get up at a decent time to prepare for the day. If you're not going to follow the right instructions, then you have no right to complain about the outcomes, because your inputs are bad. Your outputs, what you receive back, are going to be bad. The outcomes are going to be bad. Now, yes, bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you can control. Watch what you say. Control what you think. Don't hold grudges in your heart. Because life is choice driven. Again, you cannot follow the right instructions always without owning where you didn't. So when you failed that last time and now you're faced with the same situation or a similar situation, learn from the last time and decide you're going to do something different. If you want better results. Otherwise, you're just going to keep whining and complaining. People ain't going to hear it. People ain't going to be around you. And in some cases, you will sever relationships unnecessarily. So just do your part. What you refuse to own. Because accountability is the doorway to change. Let's keep that in mind. What I just talked to you about was what accountability really means. Again, it's not about blame. It's not about punishment. It's about taking ownership. Next, we're talking about is accountability is the doorway to change. Accountability is the doorway to change. What you refuse to own, you give permission to continue. If you have a messy house, and I know that's like too, I don't know what everything is like, but there's some things I do. If you have a messy house, clean it up. If your car's nasty all the time, clean it up. If you're tired of spending all your money on fast food, learn how to cook. These are things you can do, but you may not have the willingness to, or you may not feel like doing it. I do not always feel like making my videos. I don't always feel like getting up to go to work. I don't always feel like going to get up early before going to work to exercise. I don't always feel like doing the right thing. Just because you don't feel like it doesn't mean you shouldn't. So what you refuse to own, you give permission to continue. Until you accept responsibility for your choices, nothing in life will change. The choice is up to you. Change is up to you. Accountability puts the power back in your hands. That's what we're talking about here. You taking back your power. From who? You. For you. You gave your power away when you give your power away when you do not own up to the changing things in your life and your decision making and your choices and your behaviors. If we want things to become better, then we must become the better that we want. So accountability puts the power back in your hands. There's a time when people used to complain, like ladies, for example. Women couldn't vote. There was a time women couldn't vote here in America. There was a time black people couldn't vote in America. Now you got people who don't want to vote and who don't vote in America because they don't like any of the candidates. That's irresponsible. Because you have power to exercise. You want to complain about the climate, the environment, the policies, but you don't want to exercise your right to vote in this country, for example. You have no voice if you have not exercised your right to vote or to choose who you would, no matter the candidate. You have no right to speak on a matter when you chose not to exercise your right to place some vote. That's what I've shared with some people. I'm like, oh, you have no voice. You didn't vote. So whether you like, so people take for granted what it is they have, the privilege, especially here in America. We have taken, and I've been one of the ones too. We do not always take advantage of the opportunities we have. We have taken for granted the opportunities and the powers and the privileges that we have. Then we want to complain. So stop chirping. Just stop. If you're not willing to change things in your life, if you're not willing to step up to the plate, take responsibility for you, then you have no place. You have no place to speak. Because you don't want to change. You want to blame it on your sister. You want to blame it on your parents. You want to blame it on your grandparents. You want to blame it on your friends. Blame it on that job. Blame it on this job. Blame it on that business. When are you going to say it's my fault? Oh, well, it's God's fault. He put me in his family. It's God's fault. He put me on this side of the planet. Or I grew up not knowing who my parents was, and he mad at God about it. Listen, that's something you can't control and you don't have all the information on. It's just that simple. Just admit, I don't know. Take responsibility right there. I don't know why I'm in this situation or why I was permitted to grow up in the family I grew up in or whatever. Just admit it. That's not a weakness. That's a fact. You don't know all the information. You don't have it all. You don't know everything. That's a part of being accountable, saying, I don't know. You may not like it. You may not agree with it. You may like it. You may agree with it. I don't know. Know your place. All of us have a place. Know your place. The next point I want to make is there are 3 levels of accountability. 1 is accountability to yourself. You have accountability to your thoughts, to your choices, and to your habits. If you lie to yourself, then you limit yourself. If you can't be honest with you, I know you can't be honest with me. The next level, the second level, is accountability to others. Relationships thrive or die based on consistency. Accountability builds trust. And again, life really is, as using this as an example, life is a team sport. No matter what you do, if you're on the right side of life or on the evil side of life, we all still need relationships to accomplish our agendas, to accomplish our purposes, to accomplish some type of activity. We still need somebody to help, or somebody needs us. Hopefully you're on the good side of it. Third, accountability to purpose. There's an accountability to your calling, to your assignment, to your mission. Purpose requires the D word. A D word most of us do not like, or most people do not like. And it's called discipline. You have to control yourself. If you want to advance, if you want to elevate in life, you have to control what stays in your mind, what comes out of your mouth, what stays in your heart, and what you do. No matter what else happens, life truly is choice driven. So why is accountability difficult? Could it be because we have pride? Could it be we live based on our excuses? Could it be fear of the consequences? Could it be emotional immaturity? What could it be? Once you become aware of one's unwillingness to be accountable, then you have a choice to make. Either you're going to submit to the process or be destroyed because of your lack of submission to it. That's entirely up to you. You can blow up your purpose. You can blow up every opportunity you get. You can blow up every relationship. You can blow up everything. I really don't like using the word blow up, but I hope it gives it you feel the impact of those words. Because I know, recently I just heard that, somebody was trying to set up a bomb and things have happened in this country. So I don't want to really use that term per se, but it seems fitting. If you don't want to destroy your future opportunities or your present ones, taking personal accountability is one of the master keys to success. It just is. The next point is accountability versus blame. Blame looks backward. You're looking back and you blame, man, I wish this. It goes back to what I said earlier about you blaming your loved ones, your parents or your guardians, whoever that was. You blaming a job, or you blaming your friends, or you blaming where you was born, the family you was born in, you blaming God. I mean, you just shifting blame, but looking here. Accountability. What does it do? Accountability looks forward. What outcome do I want? What do I want to be successful at? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? I was looking forward. Blame says, look what happened, while accountability says, look what I'll do next. So what will you do next after you hear this video? Will you remain the same still and become worse? Or will you make the necessary changes, the necessary adjustments to improve life for yourself and for others? There are 4 A's that I want you to keep in mind as I get ready to end this video. 4 A's. 1, admit where you at fault at, or hey, you've been made aware if there was an issue. Maybe it's not your fault. There are times it's not your fault, but you still admit there is a problem and you're going to do something about it. Admit that. 2, assess that problem. Assess the issue. Be it your fault or not, assess what solutions are at my disposal. How can I be creative to change this outcome? Make the necessary adjustments. That's number 3. Adjust. It's one of the principles my dad taught me. Make the adjustments. Now I have coworkers who who make fun of me at times when I say, because Darius says, make the adjustment, make the adjustment. I'm gonna make the adjustment. Yes, I'm gonna make the adjustments. Make the necessary decisions to create a better pathway for the type of outcomes I want and or someone else may want. And lastly, act. You can admit it all you want. You can assess everything and you can consider making adjustments, but if you don't act, then the rest of them become null and void. It's like knowing to do the right thing but not doing it. You're worse than someone who does not know that they are in the wrong for something. So make a decision. Act. So, accountability is not weakness. Taking personal accountability or personal responsibility is not a weakness. It's actually strength. It's also leadership. It's the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. So if you want growth, mastery, results, start with taking personal ownership. If you're a teenager and you're listening to this, now's a very good time for you to learn about personal accountability, taking personal ownership of your decision making. The friends you're going to hang around with, what you want to do as a career, the family you may want to have. All of that matters. The money you want to make, the kind of person you want to become to contribute to society. All of that matters. Now's a very good time to start thinking seriously. You're not too young to think seriously about your life. Some people may say that you are. Some people may say you take your life too seriously. Sometimes we need to dial it back a little bit. I will agree that if that's the situation, if that's the case. But I do know this about people, especially at that age, at a young age, most aren't that serious as they should be. So, take personal accountability and be successful. Appreciate y'all joining me, and I'll see y'all next week. And remember, maximize the moment.